Yes. Are you finding yourself in a savior leadership zone? Or perhaps you're finding yourself in that friend leadership zone, but ultimately your team is not staying. Well, tune in tonight for how to be the leader to establish your dream team that never leaves your side as your business grows. We're going to go into traps for you to avoid as you level up your skill set and what you can do to tap into your own powerful leader with our special guest here, Leslie Rochelle. Yeah. So, first question for you, Leslie, before I go to the introduction, right? Even just why intuitive leadership coaching? What
It
is that even
is
about? Yeah.
the intuitive piece, honestly, is something that I kind of shied away from for a long time until I felt comfortable enough actually putting that in front. It's just one of the special gifts that I actually have, that I can support people at a much deeper level to really finding out what their greatest potential actually is, and helping them to be able to find it. And really, the whole idea of creating my practice in the first place was to help that earlier version of myself. Learn to teach.
Love it, love it, love it. Yes, because you had a whole lustrous career, which we're going to get into in a couple minutes. But I know some of you watching are likely new. So before we go into nitty gritty of really becoming a better leader for your team and for yourself, and what you can do to improve in that area, first off, welcome. You're listening and watching Entrepreneurship is a Marathon live here on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern with your host. That's me, Vanessa Zami, the business defibrillator. And what I do is I consult local community businesses, storefronts, salons, shops, and studios on how to revive, grow, and scale your business without the burnout, without the sleep deprivation, and without the meditation. And part of that is leadership. Yes. We're going to go into a special episode here this evening with an intuitive leadership expert, Leslie Rochelle. Before we get into that, as we do in every episode, what has been your win of the week? And when I say week, I mean the last 7 days, because it is only Tuesday. Well, if you're here with us live, if you're watching the replay, you might be watching this on a Thursday or Friday. I know vacation's coming up for some people too. But what has been your win of the week? It could be a personal win. It could be a business win. It could be a business and a personal win. So what has been your win of the week? Type it in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to scroll a little bit farther down. You're going to hit that subscribe button. Then you're going to scroll a little bit more and you're going to type in what has been your win of the week. So Leslie, what's been your win of the week?
My win of the week. My son starts school tomorrow, and I'm so excited. So maybe my win is actually for tomorrow that we have today. But it's kind of end of summer vacation, and really the win of the week is just getting him all prepared and seeing him start grade 3. So this is
Awesome.
such a fun age for sure.
Love it. Love. See, it's a personal win, but it's still a business win because it all connects. Yes, right. And so, what's been my win of the week? So type in the comments what has been your win of the week. If you're watching on LinkedIn or Facebook, feel free to type in the comments what has been your win of the week. Even if you're watching a replay, let us know in the comments. My win is that I completed right before the show a 3-hour marketing and social media workshop for 25 businesses in Massachusetts, and everyone stayed on through the end, and they had so much thanks to give, and it was just amazing. It was great. Yes, they stayed on for 3 hours. I stayed on for 3 hours, and we did that thing. Yes, we did indeed. So with that being said, that's my win because I'm still here even today, even now, 10 minutes later. So I'm really excited. So what has been your win of the week? Type it in the comments below. So now let's get into it. Leslie Rochelle supports a multi-billion-dollar company and has become the go-to support for new and emerging female leaders. Leslie is an active mentor, mentee, and facilitator. Her vast experience and knowledge in overcoming personal obstacles to become her ideal leader self allows her to support her clients in a meaningful way. She's going to be sharing those tips with us here tonight. As an intuitive leadership coach and mentor, Leslie has a specific focus on leaders new to the leadership space, whether that be corporate or in their business, growing their team. So, Leslie, what are the top, would you say, like 3 or the number one mistake perhaps that you see in leaders, right? And now leaders, when we say about leadership, right? Leaders are definitely around, and for those who may have come from a corporate background, sure. But when we talk about here on this, entrepreneurship is a marathon, right? Show and podcast, right? Leaders referring to you as a business owner, you are a leader, right? Whether you don't need to have W-2 employees to be a leader. If you have 8 contractors you're working with, part-time people you're working with, interns, right? Anyone who's helping you with your business, you ultimately, though, are leading your business. Okay. Even if you're like one of their many clients, you're still the leader of your business, right? You still have a team around you that you are leading, and they're showing up as a reflection of whether or not you're showing up, right? And so if you are, for example, one of my clients, right, she has a restaurant. Her staff, it's different shifts are happening. Her restaurant only opens like essentially in the weekend, right? So 3 days out of the week. Guess what? That still is her team. They still have to be able to show up. She as a leader has to show up as well. So they also show up. This is why we talk about this topic. So Leslie, what would you say are some top mistakes, common mistakes that you see leaders make?
Some of the top mistakes that leaders actually make is, one, depending upon how you came into that leadership role, is the friend, right? So sometimes you have been promoted from within, or you have surrounded yourself with a lot of your friends. You've hired your friends, and it makes it difficult for you to get into that leadership space, especially when you have to provide any type of feedback that may not be amazing feedback to be able to provide. So sometimes you can actually get into that friend zone, and if you have more people on your team and there's one particular person that you end up spending time with outside of work, it can be perceived as favoritism to the other people that are actually on your team. So it's a really fine line between being friendly versus going for Sunday barbecues at someone's house, right? So it's one of those things that when you get into the leadership space, you really do have to look at and make some conscious intentions with regards to the relationships that you are creating. Relationships are absolutely important, but to what level that you're making them is something to really consider.
Yeah, and speaking of the friend zone, there are a lot of people, they'll, get their cousin, their mother, their, retired friend there, to like help them with the business in some way, right? I know some of my clients do that. A lot of them have that, right? And the thing is that, or even actually one of my clients also, she has her friend's daughter, right, do her website, right? And that's been a whole heck of a miss. I've been trying to get her to fire that person for like the past year, but it's the friend zone. It's the friend thing. I'm just like, girl, she's messing us up. But anyways,
really hard to fire.
Hey, I'm just the consultant. I can only make recommendations. I don't.
That's right. It's really hard. It's really difficult to fire your friend and still keep that friendship.
Yeah, but it's her friend, right? And it's her friend's daughter too. So it's like this other layer of like, oh, your child is not a good worker. Let me not tell you that, right? But anyway, so yes, but ultimately, right? It's definitely you have to ensure that you are a leader, right? And so, what does it mean to be a leader? Because I know there's something that you also mentioned in terms of spending time, at the barbecue with that specific employee versus not the other ones, right? And so I'm assuming like what you're not saying, Leslie, though, you're not saying don't hang out with your employees, right? Yeah. Definitely keep it social. Like when my client, she just had like an end of summer celebration, right? With the whole entire staff on the team, right? They met up at the restaurant, they had some food, they had some drinks, yada, 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 right? And so, but what does it mean to essentially like stay out of that friend zone? Yeah.
Yeah, it is really setting up some boundaries. So what you said was incredibly important, though, is the fact that it was inclusive, right? So the whole team was invited to those things, which is like a team building event, which is absolutely imperative, especially these days, to be able to do that. But it's really getting into that that friend zone that makes it difficult again to provide that feedback, so that you're not appearing, or the perception is not that you're creating favoritism for that one person within your team, because it could actually make the other ones feel not as valued as the other friend that you are, or once you get into that friend zone with some of the members of your team as well. So again, friendly relationships is important, and getting to know somebody is important, so that they feel valued. As well, just getting into that, again, picking one person out or a couple of people out of your team and leaving the other ones out is not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Yeah.
Indeed. Love it. And what would you say are like, so you mentioned some things there. Are there any other mistakes that you see that leaders make, right? Other than friend zone?
Yes. Yes, there are a couple more. One of them is actually becoming their savior. When that can happen when we're going to care about our team, and this is really what we really should be doing. However, when you take on all the things that they can't fix, and you just say, okay, I'll do it, you come in as the savior, and then you eliminate that opportunity for somebody else on your team to learn something new, to help them to, do some critical thinking on their own. So sometimes the best thing to do is just to really ask them questions about the issue or the concern or the trouble that they're having, or gather some feedback from the rest of your team as well, versus just simply giving them the answer and taking on all those extra duties. One, you probably don't have time to take on all those extra duties as a business owner. And again, it really lends to a really great learning opportunity. So when you can pose questions back to your team to find out what their responses or solutions to that concern is that they have, it really helps them to have I guess more stake in the decisions that are actually being made.
Yes,
so
love it.
Let them help them to find the solutions themselves.
Yep. Help them help you. Yes. Exactly. I love it. These are some great tips and advice. If you're looking for more, we still have some more to come in the show here, right? If you're looking for more advice, though, and you already know Leslie Rochelle, I want to connect with her, then hop on LinkedIn. And guess what her website is, folks? It's leslierochelle.com, right? So feel free to, her name is in the screen. Her name is in the description. So leslierochelle.com. Visit that for even more insights, or connect with Leslie on LinkedIn as well. And so we still got some more mistakes to address and ways to solve them, right? So we mentioned the savior zone, right? And mentioning how, people, and part of it, like when you mentioned that, what I thought of was the idea of, not being able to delegate or outsource effectively. Right? It's kind of it's a little bit what we're getting at here, right? Is that a lot of business owners, and this happens to my clients where, yes, they've hired, right? And sometimes some people just don't hire at all because they don't want to delegate or outsource. But when it comes to even the small business owners, right, that I help to consult, it's like they have the team, they don't use them effectively, right? And that's a little bit what you were getting at the end, where it's giving them that space to problem solve, giving them that space to, have some sort of, figure it out ability, so to speak, on what they need to do in order to get that task done, or to solve that problem, or to make things move forward in the business. And so that way they have a little more ownership, which then puts a little less onus on the business owner for themselves, right? And so if you're listening to this, and let's say you do have your team of people, are you using them effectively? Or are you leveraging their skill set effectively? Or are they still coming to you? If they're still coming to you every 5 seconds, you got a problem. You got a problem. Okay, it's like, yes, you've delegated. That's the first step. There's still some room for improvement. So love it. What is another mistake? We're going to a three. We'll stop at 3. What's the third?
We're going to go 3?
Yes.
I would say communication, right? Being able to effectively communicate the ideas, the mission that you have, the ideas on a project that you're actually working on, to ensure that there is understanding on the other side. Right? Communication also has to do, communication is massive. It's definitely a massive topic for sure, because there's communications with yourself as the business owner, and your business, your own business leader. And so making sure that the communications that you are having with yourself are really great as well. If you wouldn't speak to your child one way, don't speak to yourself that way. And ensuring that you are, again, really being able to provide your message so that there is clear understanding and clear direction as to what it is that you are looking for. And sometimes you do need to come in there and verify that they have understood. When it comes to communication, it's incredibly important that you understand how somebody else likes to be spoken to, versus just speaking to people how you like to be spoken to. You're going to get a lot better results when you can speak to someone in a way that allows for the best results, right?
Yeah.
I have a funny little story. I have my best friend and I, we worked for the same company at one point in time, and love each other. However, we have 2 totally different personalities. And when we finally figured this out through, some of the personality assessments and training that you can actually do, we finally figured out why. It's because I was on one side, she was completely on the opposite side. So once we knew how we should be communicating for best results, it worked out so much better. So there is different assessment tools that you can actually make. So speak to someone in the way that they like to be spoken to, not the way that you like to be spoken to. And then it's their responsibility to do it the same for you as well.
Love it, love it. What are some assessment tools that you recommend to your clients or that you help them go through? Mm-hmm.
The one that I really like, it's called 16personalities.com. So 16personalities.com. It's free. It's about 12 minutes. And the nice thing that you can actually do is you can figure out what your personality type is. If you were a superhero, it would tell you what superhero you are as well within there. So it's really fun. It's a great team building exercise. So you can have everybody take it and then plot people out within the different quadrants that they're in. It's really great for hiring practice as well. So if you've taken this and you know you have too much of one area, that don't hire more for that area, right? Really what you want to do is you want to hire towards your gap, and that helps to increase the diversity amongst your team as well.
Love it, love it, love it. Yes, that was an awesome tip, right? Discover how people want to be spoken to and speak to them in that manner versus how you like to be spoken to, right? Communication is a big mistake, a big trouble area for a lot of leaders, a lot of teams, a lot of coworkers, a lot of employees. I remember back when I was in corporate, man, communication was a struggle. And the thing about it, I always like to say, I mean, even in just like my life philosophy before I even was in entrepreneurship, but even still today, it's, I believe that most of the world's problems can be solved with some clear communication if people just even communicated. And then if they communicated clearly, oh my goodness, so many problems.
That's right. And not just be on transmit.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Because that makes it really difficult for somebody to have a conversation with you if you're the only one speaking, right?
Yes. Oh, the drama that would just be reduced with this.
Exactly.
But yes, you mentioned assessment tool, 16personalities.com. So we've put that in the comments. So for those who want to take that, click it directly. If you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, it's directly in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, it might be in the comments or it might be in the YouTube description. So scroll down, check that out. And remember to visit Leslie. You can connect with her on LinkedIn. And we still got more to come, folks. We still got more to come. We still essentially connect with her on LinkedIn or hop on her website, leslierochelle.com. Yes. So special guest here, Leslie Rochelle, joining us, intuitive leadership coaching experts. Love it. Thank you for diving into those mistakes and sort of solutions for us, right? And so you mentioned some tips and tricks already when it came to communication, right? What are some other, what would you say? I know if you had 3, 5, 10, but what would you say are some fundamentals, just fundamentals to leadership that business owners of like small teams should have, right? Or even just business owners with a team, even if it's just one person, right? Because even when I had only one person on my team, right, I was like, let me be a great leader. Okay, now I have a couple more, but that's okay, right? But essentially, it starts even if you have one person. It starts even if you have yourself. You're a solopreneur, right? But definitely, if you're watching this, you might be a storefront owner, a salon, a shop. You probably have a couple people part-time. Maybe you got that intern. But even if you have less than 5 people or greater than 10 people, leadership is important. So what are some, what do you say, fundamentals that you find with leadership?
One thing to understand, and you really did touch on that, is leadership isn't a title, it is a way of being. And there's a difference between being a manager.
Wait, pause. Say that again. Say that again.
Leadership is not a title, it is a way of being. And there are some people who figure they're in leadership position and they're most certainly not leaders. They may be a manager, they may be a supervisor, but they are most certainly not in that leadership space. So
that individual contributor.
It could be an individual contributor, or it could just be somebody telling you what to do, right? For that, being in that leadership space is really being able to provide that inspiration and helping people to become the best versions of themselves, right? Having that clear direction, inviting people into the space, creating that environment that people have this sense of belonging. All your team really wants is they want to be valued, they want to be seen, they want to be heard, with that sense of belonging and a shared sense of purpose. So being able to communicate all of that to your team and creating the environment that allows other people to be able to express their opinions as well in that space.
I love that. Leslie, you should like take a snip of what you just said there and just put that on your rep. That was just so beautiful. That was just so beautiful.
Still the time.
Okay, so love it. It was just like
Hopefully
leadership
good.
is a way of being. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
folks. Hope you. I just got some. You got some chills from that. Did you get some chills? I got some chills. I got a little. Ooh, and it's definitely really hot because I is like in the 90s right now. But also, so the chills was from the words. Well, chills from the words. Well, thank you so much, Leslie, for being here with us this evening. How are there any sort of like final sort of words of advice? Something that's like a tip of your tongue that you just want someone, a listener, to just know, right? Someone is let's say they are at the place where like a lot of my clients when they come to me and they need help with that team management is that they're at that place where they have the team but it's just not working for them, right? It's just not working for them. What is sort of like some final like one piece of advice takeaway for people to leave?
If it's not your team, it's you.
Ooh.
Right? If your team isn't working, it is you. I know it is a really hard truth. However, if something isn't working in your life, whatever that is, you always have to go back to you. It is you, right? Whether it's good, bad, or ugly, it is always you. So really going back and understanding why I want to be a leader in the first place. Like, what are the reasons why I want to be in this space is really important to understand. And when I bring my clients back, so yes, we talk strategic and tactical aspects of leadership. However, we always start with the person themselves. So I always take them back a step. It's like kind of drawing an arrow back so that we can understand who they are as a human being, what it is that they want, the goals that they want to have, the mission that they actually envision that they want to create for their businesses and really for their lives in general. And then we get to spring them forward to create that greater impact. So, being in that leadership space really is a privilege, and it is our responsibility to care for those people within our charge.
Love it. Being in a leadership space is a privilege. It is indeed. And funny enough, my workshop for leadership is actually called "It's Not the Industry, It's You," because ultimately, like a lot of people want to blame, oh, well, the industry just had so much turnover. It's the industry. Listen, unless people have moved state, they're leaving your company because of you. It's not because of the industry or the way things are. Okay. It's not the industry. It's you. I say that in my workshop all the time, folks. Love it. See, this is why I love the guests here. Okay. So Leslie Rochelle, you can hit her up, her website, leslierochelle.com. She's also very prominent on LinkedIn as well. So feel free to check her LinkedIn page, Leslie Rochelle. And I think you have a special gift for us.
I do. Wow. I do. I have a new offer that's coming out. It will be on my website very, very soon. And it is an unlimited coaching package. It's a three-month unlimited coaching package. So it's like having a mentor in your pocket, which is really, really great. Awesome. And I'm offering a $500 discount to the viewers of your podcast should they like to engage in some mentorship.
Love it, love it. Fantastic. It's not so great. She doesn't do this, folks. She doesn't often, only because you are the guest here. So yeah, so if you are watching us live at the time now, we're watching this live, then it's not on the website. But at the time you listen to this, either the replay and or if you listen to us on the podcast, then hop on leslierochelle.com, click on the program, the 3-month program specifically, type in the code Vanessa. That's a capital V and then lowercase ANESSA, capital V, lowercase ANESSA. Type in Vanessa for a $500 discount, folks. That is a hefty discount. Okay, can I get a yes? Awesome. So thank you again, Leslie, for joining us here. And for those who you're looking for even more insights and more guest experts, we have a lot of them coming this month. If you didn't already tell, the show's not only about the story behind the entrepreneur, but it's really also about lessons and action items for keep you moving forward in your community business. We're all about equipping and empowering you, the small business owner, through education. We have next week expert copywriter and content marketer, Brittany Gregorio, who will be talking on how to get your brick and mortar standing out in the crowded online market. We have an expert and world-renowned speaker, Mike Kiko, who will essentially be going into more details about turning your mind from a liability to an asset. So sometimes it's not even your leadership; it's just you overall. All right. So he likes to say, yes, he describes himself as a Marine with an MBA. So get ready for the talk you need to hear. And we have another expert joining us the week after that, Crystal Lockwood, who will be joining us on how to create raving fans community that also converts to sales. So for those brick and mortar businesses, you're also trying to create a community, build even more of a brand and empire. You definitely want to tune into that. We have even more guest experts joining us for the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. Pretty much in summary, subscribe to the channel every Tuesday live at 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be here on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. If you're listening to us via the podcast, then share, download, review, all the things. Let somebody know because such, if they don't know, they just don't know, right? And ignorance is only blissful for the people who don't know. Okay. Otherwise, if they do know, you will see how ignorant you were, and they'll be really sad. You don't want your fellow business owner to be ignorant. You want them to also grow and to know and to be great. So give them an opportunity to be great by sharing this education with them. Share these tips that Leslie has shared. Share this episode with them. Engage and let them know to listen in to Entrepreneurship is a Marathon every week so they can keep moving forward in their business, in their financial freedom, in their generational wealth path. And if you're saying to yourself, Vanessa, I want you on my team as strategic business owner, then link is at the bottom of the screen, power.vzame.com. Actually, I'm going to put that link now because Leslie's right now what you see, but essentially then you're going to see me. And thank you, Leslie, for joining us. Yay! Awesome. Fantastic. With that being said, have a lovely Tuesday evening, a lovely week, and enjoy, folks. Chat soon. Bye.